let's talk about that budget deal. It may not have produced a lasting peace, but it did produce some winners and some losers. Sudeep Reddy is with us to run down who made out from the fight and who got gamed. Sudeep, how are you?
I'm doing well, Paul.
All right, let's do this almost bullet point style. Give us your first winner.
The first winner is certainly in some ways John Boehner. It sounds like, it's Harry Reid. It sounds like he fought a lot of this as an attempt to recover lost ground from the earlier fights, the fiscal cliff where he got kind of rammed through by the White House, by Joe Biden. Harry Reid wanted to push this down, wanted to fight the good fight back then, and he was really in control of this process along the way. So he is one big winner in all of this because he was able to control the process and get through substantially, in the end, what he wanted as his key priority.
All right, who's another winner for us?
Another winner is actually Susan Collins. She is a Republican senator who is seen as a centrist. She is one of the people who came up with the plan over the last week to break the logjam. She wanted to step in and come up with what she called a compromise. It ultimately didn't fly, but having lawmakers cross the aisle and step up and realize that this is the moment they needed to actually do something together was a turning point in this entire 16-day battle.
Yeah, and then I got to push back a little bit on your next winner here, but you give it to us.
The next one, on some measures, is Ted Cruz. He is someone who probably fell in the standing of most Americans. They saw him reading Dr. Seuss on the Senate floor, wondering what this guy is all about. It wasn't exactly a debut designed to appeal to most of the country, but and he obviously didn't get his policy priorities through here as a total failure in that regard. Obamacare is still here and actually more popular as a result of this standoff among Americans. But his goal here was actually to draw attention to himself, which he certainly did, and to build his own base among the Tea Party. And those his supporters in that base are even more devoted to him now as a result of the fight than they were before. And that's a really important development that could have implications for years down the road.
Yeah, you talk about this 2016 bid. I mean, he may have bolstered the base, but I don't think with the general population he came off very well in this thing. I disagree, Sudeep Reddy. But let's talk about some of the losers, and let's start off with the Speaker of the House.
John Boehner is on the loser list. Some people might actually call him a winner, which is why this is a little hard to see. He certainly has a black eye. He did not want this battle. He was very clear now, just like he was in 1995, that a shutdown would be a political loser for his party. But what he was doing was carrying along his conference based on what its wishes were by the majority. And as a leader of that group, he was able to lead them along. The irony here is, even though this is a total political failure for the House GOP, John Boehner's standing within his conference is actually stronger now than it was a few weeks ago because he stood up for their views, what they believed in. Even though most of his conference voted against the bill that he ended up putting on the floor on Wednesday night, they still back him for that reason.
All right, and then that's the number 3 man in the government. You put the number 1 man on the list as well.
That's right. President Obama set out to break the fever in all of this. He wanted to figure out a way to get past these fights around the debt ceiling. And he set out a very clear no negotiating stance. He will not negotiate over the debt ceiling. And it really put this entire mess on the shoulders of the GOP. If we defaulted, he would have tried to blame it on the GOP. It was a risky strategy because, of course, the president would be blamed if the economy went into the tank. But he pushed this. He was able, in some way, to break the fever for now. We have to fight this again down the road. Right. And as a result of this, Obamacare is a little better off.
Yeah. And then your big loser, I don't think there is any disagreement on this one. Who is it? Or what is it?
For the big loser, it's all of us, the American people. We are going to see this fight again in 3 months. There's economic damage, there's financial damage, but that is the real reason President Obama is a loser on this list, is because he was not able to do what he came out to do in 2008 and 2009 and change the direction of Washington and change the direction of America. And so ultimately, that is a reflection of him and of us.
Yeah. All right, Sudeep, good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.